The Save Our Waterfront Committee is dedicated to preserving and expanding public access to Monterey's beautiful coastline. Since 1997, the Save Our Waterfront Committee has urged the City of Monterey to seek funding to purchase this last remaining open coastal space on Cannery Row for a park. Cannery Row is one of the most developed coastlines in the state of California, and it is one of the least accessible by the public. The only public access to the beach along Cannery Row is at the Plaza Hotel, the Chart House, Maccabee Beach, and Steinbeck Plaza. This is a view from the water of the proposed project site and how the project will impact public views, access, and recreational use. This is inconsistent with Coastal Act policies 30210, 30211, 30251, 30253, 30213, 30220, 30222, and the Cannery Row Land Use Plan, which says to preserve and enhance coastal views by establishing a punctuated, low-rise skyline respecting the visual forms of the old canneries with a roof of varying sizes and shapes. This is the project plot plan. The gray shapes A, B, C, and E are the project buildings. The purple represents the dedicated public access. The blue rectangle is Stohan's, the historic fish reduction plant. The blue line is the 10-foot wide shoreline access. Note, Building A extends over a portion of this public access. The pink line shows the edge of Building A. The staff reported that waves will run under Building A and break. In the distance you can see the edge of the Chart House. There is no coastal public access by Building B. Building B covers a lot of the rocky area of the shore. The rocky shoreline will be at risk during storms or tsunamis, and the project is inconsistent with the Natural Hazard Coastal Policy 30253. In a 1945 aerial photograph, existing open spaces were shown on the project site, which provided both public and visual access to Monterey Bay. The site goes from the El Torito to the Chart House and from the water to the rec trail. Next to the Chart House is the Tevis Murray Garden, which was an open space attached to a former estate. The Chart House also was built on open space, as well as a portion of the Plaza Hotel. The Tevis Murray Wall is the oldest historic structure on the row. There was never a cannery on this site. Historically, canneries were 2 stories high, in contrast to the proposed project in pink. The recreation trail extends from Pacific Grove to Seaside and is extremely popular and heavily used by local residents and visitors for walking, jogging, bicycling, and skating. For the last 40 years, there has been an unobstructed view from Cannery Row across the bay to the Santa Cruz Mountains. Staff found the project is inconsistent with policies 30251 and 30253, which protect coastal, scenic, and visual qualities for the public. Buildings C and E will be located on the inland parcel directly adjacent to the trail and will block much of the shoreline and bay view. These replacement view cones do not offset the coastal views blocked by the project. Building E is a 28-foot high parking garage with illuminated parking on the roof. The scenic and visual impacts to the rec trail are shown as you look to the east and to the west. The recreation trail along Cannery Row is 6/10 of a mile long. With the construction of this project, the recreation trail will become a tunnel surrounded by buildings. Building C will replace the San Xavier warehouse. This historic warehouse was still standing in 1997, but the city permitted the developer to demolish the building because of storm damage to the siding, damage that could have been repaired for $60,000. The historic warehouse was extremely sturdy and in no danger of collapsing. The supporting beams were clear hand-milled redwood from the Santa Cruz Mountains. Staff found the project would result in the development that mimicked the warehouse development generally, and that the historic foundation would be destroyed. In 1998, the National Trust for Historic Preservation named Cannery Row as one of America's 11 most endangered historic places. Quote, "The former sardine canning capital of the world, immortalized by John Steinbeck, was being eroded by development and the failure to adhere to city plans." This is Stohan's with a fish hopper along the side. Stohan's is the only remaining building intact on the project site. Fish hoppers were an important part of Cannery Row history. One of the most important stories about the Cannery Row era is how fish hoppers were used. Fish were loaded from the boat into the hopper. The hopper was floated to the canneries where they were unloaded into the fish tanks awaiting processing. It is unclear how these historic artifacts will be displayed, interpreted, and made accessible to the public. The project is inconsistent with the requirement of the Coastal Act Section 30253 to protect special communities that are popular with visitors, and Cannery Row Land Use Plan's requirement to preserve identified historic sites. The Commission staff report concluded that the project is fundamentally and unresolvably inconsistent with water supply, public access Coastal Act policies, and inconsistent with visual, natural, environmental, historic, and sensitive habitat resource Coastal Act policies. The Save Our Waterfront Committee urges the Coastal Commission to support the staff report and deny the project.